Forged from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. Good morning, an early start for Forged from Iron. Well, some of us have got jobs to do and things to do, places to go, you know, all the rest of it. But anyway, for those of you watching live or at your own leisure, please don't forget to like, comment on and share the stream to your social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and make sure you hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. We thank you very much indeed for your support. In this matter, we're here to discuss the goings on last night at London Stadium. Both Duke and I were lucky enough to be there to witness an absolute goal fest. Look at that. Goals raining from all angles. West Ham United for the mighty Aek Larnaca of Cyprus were put to the sword and were lucky to get nil. 6-0 on aggregate, Duke. It was pretty much a formality, wasn't it, mate? loaded statement as ever. I knew what I was doing.
Wasn't impressed.
Go on.
One corner in 2 games against was essentially a League One club, bottom of the Championship, League One. They weren't an impressive footballing side. We made them in the first leg look like
Morning, Mosey.
Premier League winners. There he is. I told you. One win, 1 corner, 180 minutes against each side. You know, like I say, first leg we made them look like Premier League winners. Here. Made them look like Premier League winners.
Can I just briefly interject, because we might have our youngest viewer, and I've actually got this. There it is. That's a photograph of our youngest fan, Freya, and she was reading. Apparently, she was reading me a story. And Beck, can you have to remind me, what was she doing to Duke? Was she, I don't know, throwing sort of like things at his side of the telly and reading me a story? I can't remember what it was. But that's our youngest fan, isn't it, Duke?
She is, yes. Bless her.
Morning, Freya. Hope you're well.
Absolutely.
Be good for mummy. Poor kid. Anyway, carry on, mate.
We were, mate. I really wasn't impressed. I've seen videos do the rounds.
That was it. Trying to give you a drink.
Seen videos doing the rounds, comments, social media, and everything else. I'm really still in a point of just utter disdain. Really, we come out. It was if anything, it was a glorified training match, Rob, and we still look quite poor at points. Like, seriously, what the fuck was going on yesterday? I really thought that we would come out and absolutely decimate them. It took them going down to 10 men for us to actually go on and win the game. If they'd stayed at 11, that's not the scoreline. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy I won 48 quid. I put a fiver on it for 4-0, so I'm all right. One thing I do want to talk about, and I suppose we'll get to it, because obviously it happened in the second half. So let's get the first half out of the way, and then I can get on to really my real gripe, my real pissed off moment, my real just my annoyance. I mean, Ken says there we struggled until then. I mean, if their goal had been onside, and to be honest with you, it was millimeters. I've watched the replay this morning, and it was millimeters, Rob. It was obviously at the other end from where I was sat, and it was obviously at the end where you are. Bumped into Mo last night as well as I was getting hot dogs.
Yes, he told me.
So let's. What was your thoughts on the lineup when the lineup came out?
Stronger than I would have advocated, as you well know, because we obviously went through our
clearly needed it though.
Well, hindsight being perfect vision, maybe, but I was pleased that a few of the to sort of like give him a little bit of credit. One thing I was pleased was that the kids got an opportunity, but I'm not stupid enough to think that had that game been let's say parallel universe, sliding doors, that goal isn't chalked off and it's 1-1 and they don't get that player sent off. And I just want to give a little shout out to Pablo Fornals, bless him. You could see he was come on, don't send this guy off. It's not that bad. But the referee was under instruction from the VAR that it was a red card offence. And despite Pablo Fornals' best efforts to try and stop it, and I said to you afterwards, I think I said to you in the pub when we got back to your gaff after the game. I know I might have been said it to Becca actually. Do you know who I blame for that sending off? Me. And do you know why? Because when I did the key player for Larnaca, he was the key player.
Yeah, I don't think fate and karma work that way, but I like it.
That's on me.
I mean, I was on the train when it came out. And I looked at it and I went, "Oh, he's gone not quite all in, but he's gone relatively all in." You know, Skabaka up front that we were all screaming for. And I tell you what, right before his goal, Rob, what a hit! What a hit! Now I don't know what it looked like from down your end, but obviously that was the end where I was sat.
Just past the post, was it?
And mate, it was so close, so close. We're talking maybe a couple of inches that it rattled away.
Looks like he struck.
But he gets his goal. He does get his goal, and it's good perseverance. I mean, the keeper ain't going to want to watch that back again. I mean, he really isn't. That was
wasn't it?
I mean, I don't think he's expecting the shot to come in. Which I find quite funny because as a goalkeeper, you've got to be on your toes at all times.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, it literally goes rattling in under his body, which I found quite amusing. Poor bastard that he was. It's. But I was pleased for him. But there was a very muted celebration on his part. Did you notice? He didn't go like give it all the. It was very muted celebration.
It wasn't like he bent it in from 30 yards sort of thing. I mean, if that first goal had gone in, I think you'd have probably seen him going off.
It's his first goal since January. I would have liked to have seen him. I would have liked to have seen him celebrate.
Yeah, maybe there were reasons behind it. But before we get too far into it, let's just have a little quick tale of the tape of last night. and just have a little look at who stood out for me on both sides. I mean, I have, as far as they were concerned, mate, it was I was really sort of like trawling at the bottom of the barrel. But anyway, 60's gone in 60 seconds. I was really struggling when I was trying to select an AEK player to sort of put on the little VT. But, I mean, look, to be fair, I mean, it's one of those. I know what you boys are saying about the corners and one corner in 180 minutes, but you could flip that on its head and go 6 goals in 180 minutes as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
for me, we're on a hiding to nothing because it's one of those where it's like, if we win, everybody says, well, we should have bloody won anyway. And if we lose, there's all hell to pay. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, listen, they still had too many shots across 2 legs for my liking. It's quite simple for a Championship League One side, and it's shocking just how much room, space, and everything else we were struggling, Rob, in the opening half. Really, I mean that scoreline does not do them justice. That scoreline tells you that they went down to 10 men. We offered nothing up front, in my opinion, in the first half. We offered no support to Scamacca, left, right, or middle. He cut a very forlorn figure in that first half. Yes, he got his goal. Yes, we hit the bar. Yes, we had one offside. But I'd expect that and then some. It's not a corner turned. It's not a showing that things are going to get better as we go forward. That was poor. And it took them being down to 10 men for us to even get any kind of stranglehold on the game. And against a better side, which we'll find out in the next 3 hours, against a better side, we will struggle if we continue to put in performances like that. I mean, Lazio got knocked out by Alkmaar last night.
Yeah.
So that kind of does us a favour in a way, I suppose.
And Villarreal.
Villarreal went out. You and I were discussing that last night. You know, Basel are still there. Obviously, Alkmaar went through. Fiorentina went through. Yeah. So it's not going to be perfectly easy. But I feel that we have to be better going forward. If we want to win this tournament, now is where we need to step up. Now is where we need to start playing some actual football, because I just don't think that I honestly don't think we'll win it if we play like that against a better side.
Fair. Right, okay, we're going to get into Duke's player ratings now, because we're on a bit of a clock, aren't we, old chum?
We are indeed.
Right, but any of you that are watching this live, now I got to put an apology out there, because after the Villa review, I ran a poll, live poll for the Man of the Match award, and because I didn't actually end the poll before I finished the stream, the poll ended up sort of disappearing into the ether. But I can tell you now, Benny ran away with it. He was on about 70% when I last looked. So yeah, Benny won that one. So we're going to do it again. If you're watching this on Facebook or on Twitter, pop across to the YouTube channel, get your vote cast, and whilst you're there, don't forget to drop a like on the stream. I can tell you right now that Jared Bowen has Well, it's actually a tie. It's Bowen and Scamacca on 33% apiece. So need a few more votes to be piled in. Right, so let's do Duke's player ratings. Alphonse Areola between the sticks, mate. What did you think?
What did he do, Rob? Again, it's not
He
his
had
fault, but
3
what did he
shots
have
on
to
target.
do?
Yeah.
I mean, he caught the ball a couple of times. 6. I can't.
Okay.
There's nothing else I can say on that. It's a 6. That's literally all I can
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have, like you say, he didn't have much to do, which is not a reflection on him at all.
No, not at all.
They had 3 shots on target. So, and I
And
don't think
all
really
3 of them went straight down his throat, if my memory serves.
exactly they weren't sort of requiring him to make a save like he did in this time last year against Sevilla, where he made that save.
The banging,
Where everybody sort of like still looked at it. I mean, I'm looking here, 3 shots on target in the 90, and I don't remember any of them being something that would test the big Frenchman. Morning, Fritz. Hope you're well. So yeah, I think 6 is a fair score. And you guys in the live chat, please don't forget to get involved with this yourselves. Which Usual Suspects has done there. He's given him a 7 as Usual Suspect.
I think
Bex has come in with a 7.
I actually think both of those are over generous.
Yeah.
Usual Suspect says I'm harsh. I actually think that's over generous. I mean, he didn't do nothing. He could have sat there.
Yeah.
Honestly, Andy Marr was just spot on. He could have had a deck chair. He could have had a fire pit. He could have had a barbecue sat there. He could have broke out a couple of cans of beer. He could have just got up and picked the ball up every now and then.
Exactly. Yeah, it wasn't all that. It really wasn't. But talk to me about Aaron Cresswell. Here's something that I was a little bit confused by. See, I was always told that Aaron Cresswell was the vice captain, and yet Angelo Ogbonna had the armband yesterday in the absence of Declan Rice. I couldn't work that one out. But
No,
whatever.
do you reckon it's a token gesture for something? I don't know.
Don't know. I've just felt it's like I say, it's a minor detail perhaps, but as I say, I was like, well, Cresswell's the vice captain. Why's Ogbonna got the armband, but Cresswell's on the pitch?
Cresswell found his level yesterday, Rob. No disrespect. Listen, I love Cressy. Few of the fans around me were singing Aaron Cresswell's Magic. He wears a magic hat, and I loved it. It was nice to see him get some pleasantries rather than the fucking big stick beating that he's been getting over the last few months. Great ball in for the goal for Jared Bowen's goal.
Yep.
Absolutely fantastic. Great header from Bowen on that goal. But it was a great ball into the box. I actually enjoyed watching Cresswell play. Like I say, I believe he's found his level. But yeah, I'll give him a 7. I actually quite enjoyed the way he played.
Fair enough. Well, we got Mr. Miles has come in. He's giving him a 7. Says he had a good game, good cross for Bowen's goal and a good corner. Yeah, I thought it was a cracking cross, to be fair. It was very, very much still his forte is sort of like
Cresswell of old.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know that he gets done for pace. He has those forays up the pitch. If there's a nippy right winger though, and the ball breaks, he's in all sorts of trouble. But when he's in that final third and he's got the ball at his feet, his delivery is still pinpoint, and he showed it last night. So Bex comes in, also agrees with Miles's assessment of a 7. She says he's a 7 as well. So does Fritz. He comes in, says 7. Kent, on the other hand, look at this, gets an 8. An 8. Fair enough. Usual Suspect says he is a 7 also. Right. So moving into the centre of defence, the guy that did have the armband, Mr. Ogbonna.
I'm going to give him a 7 as well, Rob. Again, it's one of them. I think they didn't have a great deal to do in the second half. I mean, the first half, the issues more for us came trying to break them down and going forward than it did anything to do with our defence. Couple of wayward passes, but other than that, I think he was quite assured. I'm actually going to give him a 7.
7 out of 10 for for the captain on the night, and I'm just waiting for any of the guys in the live chat to come in with any scores. No scores. Have they all dropped off? We've got 20 people watching, and no one's made a comment on a score. Come on, guys, you just put in a score. Come on, help us out. Otherwise, I'm going to have to move on to Zuma. What do you reckon, Duke? What do you reckon? Shall I move on? Oh, no, hang on. Here we go. Second class post. That's what it is. There we go. Always coming. Right. Here we go. So, usual suspect gives him a 7 and makes the comment that he is always reliable. And Mr. Miles says, Oggy, oi, oi, oi. 7, nice and easy. Again, he could have had a cigar on, couldn't he? He could have wore your footwear last night, Duke, and he'd probably still got away with it.
Yeah. My cowboy boots, indeed.
Right. So his defensive partner, Kurt Zuma.
Again, I'll stick with a 7, mate. To be honest with you, it wasn't. Neither of our centre backs were really overly tested, Rob, for the game. You know, it wasn't something. I mean, for their goal, they did get in behind, and I thought it was quite easy. Other than that, they looked relatively assured. They didn't have a lot to do. So, yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Fair enough. I'll get your scores up as you go. As I say, we're on Duke's on more on a clock than me.
It's St Patrick's Day, Rob, and I run a pub in a an area that has a high concentration of an Irish community. So I do need to be down there from 11 when we open.
One of whom you were giving a little bit of stick to as we left.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that on here.
No, of course. That's why I left that where it was. So,
yep.
Hang on, we got a couple. Kent's come in, says that he had a cigar on. Too easy, gives Oggy a 7, and usual suspect has given Zuma an easy 7. Milesy's come in and said, "Zoo 7. Always wanted the ball. Great tackle in the second half." And hang on a sec. Hang on, let me press that button. And Kane's come in. Good morning, lads. It's Gary 7 for Zuma. Yeah. Hello, Gary. Hope you're well. Kent Hammers, Zuma 7. Easy game. Only had to keep concentration. Yep. Fair comment. Ben Johnson playing at right back. What did you think?
Well.
Oh, hang on.
It's actually Welsh, but we'll leave that alone. Should we talk about the overhead kick, or should we leave that alone?
Please do.
I nearly pissed me pants. It was so poor. Like, it was a great cross. It was a great cross, but what I don't understand. What was he doing? I don't get it. It was laughable. It came off the bar, didn't it, from Fornals' shot?
Yeah.
And he tried an overhead kick. As they tried, I think it hit his knee and went to Bowen as a cross. It was quite amusing.
Maybe he thought, this could be my one and only chance in my entire career, and
to score an overhead kick, and he
score an overhead kick in a European game at home. You know what I mean?
Nosed it right up. I agree with the other guys. I'm not going to quite go 5s, but for me, he gets a 6. There was too many wayward passes.
And this is our weak area, isn't it? Right back.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was interested, Rob, in receiving the ball and trying to push forward. So, I'm going to go with a 6. I think 5's harsh, but I also think, anything higher than a 6 would be a travesty as well.
Fair. Well, Milesy says poor in his opinion, had so many chances to cross, played an easy back pass back. Gives him a 5. Eamon comes in, says he was terrible. 5. Kent says he was a 6. Usual suspects comes in, says a man of many hats and none fit, and gives him a 6. There we go. Right, so moving into central midfield. Was he Thomas Souček? Was he much improved from the Villa game in your opinion? I thought he was.
I'm gonna give him a 7.5.
Oh.
I don't think he was quite an 8. To be fair,
that's about Johnson. I think, just in any case, anyway.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't quite deserve an 8. it doesn't deserve anything less than an 8. Do you see? You know what I mean? It's one of them.
Yeah.
It's a real conundrum. That's why I said 7.5. A high 7 if you want. Then I'd be happy with that. I was got himself involved, wanted the ball a lot. Rob is something I did notice. He kept making space for passes to receive passes. I do believe he made more than 9 passes completed in the 90 minutes. So I'm quite happy for him. So yeah, a 7.5.
Yeah, fair play. As I say, I thought he was far all right. Yes, the opposition wasn't the best, but he can only play who's put in front of him, so you can only judge him on that. He was much better than the Villa game, but we'll see how he goes if he's selected for the starting lineup against Southampton. As to, you know, is this the start of a renaissance of Thomas Souček to get back to his form of old, or was it just sort of like a little bit of a glimmer of hope, but nothing more than that? But Kieran comes in. Look at this. Gives him a 9.
Fair play.
Ooh, impressive. Gary/Ann gives Souček a 7. Milesy says 7 for me. Works play so much better without Rice baby. Now, that could be a controversial comment, but I don't
I agree
think
with
that
him.
it's an unfair comment, to be completely honest with you. Usual suspects, no halves, Duke. We're not in the pub. 8. Eamon thinks Souček used up all his good passes for the season, gives him a 7. Kent says Big Tom should have been dominant, 7, but wasn't. So, and there's just a couple of pleasantries being exchanged between Mr. Miles and Kieran. Fritz comes in, says Souček had his best game in a while, but then the opposition he deserves an 8 for him. So fair enough.
Fair.
Right. His partner was Lucas Paquetá.
I actually think he did all right. I'm actually going to give him an 8. Again, making lots of space. Was up until he was subbed. It was a bit of a nuisance. Like I say, constantly finding himself in space for the ball, wanted to try and make things happen. I'm going to give him an 8.
Oh yeah, 10. Yeah, and I think he's not justifying his £50 million tag, but I've seen in the last month or so he's definitely, and I know this was a European game, but he's bedding into the team more. I know you could look at the Aston Villa getting subbed off and him having the but you know what? I want to see players being pissed off at getting pulled off the pitch.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
don't
I
want to see them
completely
coming
agree.
off with the game still in the balance and they're being substituted and they're going to go, oh, well, that's fine. I want to see a player coming off with a little bit of passion. So I thought the criticism of that was a little bit harsh. Anyway, Pac-Man says usual suspect got a 7. Eamon says he was a 7 and played okay. Milesy comes in, says Paquetá would love to see him with Cornet on the pitch to switch to play and get him in behind. 8. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, he plays really well with Benny. He
Yes.
does play really well with Benny, and I think maybe the 3 of them could be something quite interesting.
Ann/Gary gives Paquetá an 8. Yeah, and I thought he had a good game. But as I say, I don't want to go over the top because of the standard of the opposition he was playing. However, Kieran, completely different point of view, and that's what we love about this, says he was a 6. So disappointing against that sort of side. Kent comes in and says Paquetá 8. Frustrated again, no movements. Kamaka is on his wavelength. I want to see them playing together. He's always scanning on a head swivel.
Yeah.
Milesy comes back and says, and why does the left foot look so much sexy when playing the ball around? Do you know what? You got a point there, Milesy. I actually think in cricket, a left-handed batsman looks much, much more elegant than a right-handed batsman. It's really weird. But anyway, we're going off topic. Manuel Lanzini, Duke.
Awful. Absolutely shocking.
Wow.
I'm actually going to go my lowest. I'm actually going to give him I'm bordering between a 4 and a 5, Rob.
Okay.
I actually thought there was a lot of passes that he misplaced. He was caught a couple of times, and that fucking stupid haircut. Sorry, but no.
You're not
No,
having it, are you?
no, he's between a 4 and a 5 for me, mate. He really did misplace quite a few passes last night. Was caught on the ball a few times as well. And yeah, I think he just looked trying to play it too easy. To be honest with you,
Can I ask you a question?
please do.
What do you, if I was to put you on the spot and say to you, Duke, what do you think his pass accuracy was last night? What do you think it was?
From what I remember, quite poor, mate. Go on.
Go on, have just a stab in the dark. Average,
80.
92%. He had 112 passes and completed 103. So there was only 9 that were actually astray.
Wow, I must have only seen the 9 passes that he completely misplayed. I actually thought he was really poor.
Okay.
I really do.
All about opinions.
Yep, that's
Right.
fine.
Hang on. Just go back to him. Got the comments. Do apologise. Milesy agrees with you. He says 4. I'm guessing that's his new hair ain't helping him. Looks like a bell end. Mouse comes in and says he got an assist. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did, but you
know. Usual suspect comes in, says it's savage, and gives him a 7. No, it wasn't 45%. I'm looking at the stats here. It was definitely 92% pass accuracy. He created 3 chances, had 3 shots, and had 1 of those shots on target, and got an assist. So not bad. But there you go. Manu, safe ball all the time. He's halfway out of the club. 6, says Kent. Fair enough. Eamon says he was a 6 as well. And Kieran makes a point. It's amazing to see how we see things differently. I thought Lanzini was far better than Paquetá. There you go. And like I say, there's no right or wrong answers here. It's all about opinions.
Yep.
And Gary says, I think he gets a 6 from me. Fair enough. Right, we'll move on. Pablo Fornals.
Actually, love his energy. I'm going to give him a 7. More because his energy, the way he pleaded with the referee not to get the geezer sent off. I don't think it was a red. I think the geezer's stuck his leg out, lunged across. Yes, it's late. I don't think he catches him too badly. It's a nick. It's one of them. And Fornals gets up, like I say, and then pleads with the referee. Kind of don't send him off. Kind of gives him a hug and a kiss on the back of the head, from what I remember. But there's a lot of energy from Pab. A lot of energy. I like seeing him in that middle rather than being forced out onto the wings to play babysitter or security guard. I actually like seeing him in the middle where he can get stuck in. I'm going to go, did I say an 8 or did I say a 7? I'm going to go no. I'm going to go back to an 8.
You're going to go an 8. Well, funnily enough, Eamon has given him an 8 as well. He says he gets an extra point for the sportsmanship, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. It was in a vain effort, obviously. The referee had made his mind up that it was a red. But I thought that the fact that he's trying, in this day and age when, players get fouled and they're remonstrating and they're doing, the old card gesture sort of to the referee and all of that nonsense. You get that from managers as well. Mikel Arteta. To actually see a player trying his hardest to say, look, ref, the yellow's fine. It's not a red. Leave it out. Is quite refreshing, despite the fact it was completely fruitless.
Yeah.
Usual suspect comes in, says it's a large 8. There you go. Kieran says 8. Superb attitude, loads of work. Anne/Gary 7. Look, genuinely sorry for the player being sent off. Yeah, he did. I did wonder this because Luis Gustavo, the player that got sent off, he spent his youth career at Barcelona. So I wonder whether they know each other from their time in Spain together. I don't know. There might be a connection there. Andy Miles comes in and says 8 for him. Loved his interview before the game. Watched it before the game on BT. He needs to play against the Saints. Ken, 8 for Pab. Needs to play a more real grafter. Never moans, I think that's beat. Never moans. Perfect team player. Got it. Bex comes in. Paul wanted me to say he gives him a 9.5 for the sportsmanship. Can't be bad. Darren over there in Thailand, early evening all. Hope you're well, mate. It's 10:35 over here, buddy. Fritz comes in, says, loves Pablo, love his energy and the effort, and gives him an 8. Right, now, this fella here scored 2 of the 4 goals on the night. Talk to me about Jared Bowen.
He's going to get a 9, Rob. It's 2 goals. The second one was fantastic. The first goal was a typical striker's poacher finish. You know, Scamacca gets a shot away. It's a good save, and Bowen's there to finish it. You know, he picks the second goal. He picks the ball out on the left, comes across the goal. On the right, comes across the goal, lays it out to the left to Cressy. And if you actually watch the pass from Bowen, he's already on his toes and moving, points into the gap. Not quite sure he wanted it in the air like he got it. I think he wanted it, played round the corner and into his feet, but he adjusts really well. And I've watched the highlights and I've watched it back. He actually means the header. It's actually a really good flick header. He actually means it to do what it did. I'm actually going to give him a 9. I actually thought he played really well. I'm disappointed to see him come off. Love to have seen him get a chance at his hat-trick in Europe. Obviously, he's now our top goal scorer in European competitions.
You can understand why he got pulled off, though, can't you? I know everybody would have wanted to see the hat-trick. I get that.
No, Rob, I don't. We're not playing until the 2nd of April. We're not playing until the 2nd of April. I don't get it.
Fair enough. Eamon comes in, says he was a 9 and his man of the match, always making runs, always trying to make something happen. Of course, got the 2 goals. Milesy comes in, says 8. He got pulled off, but nice to get hat-trick. Great finish, break coming, and the wrong time. Kieran comes in, 2 good goals, 8 from him. Usual suspect, scored 2 with his girlfriend, scored 2 at the stadium. Bowen's on fire, gives him a 9. Kent comes in with a 9, slowly getting back. He was his man of the match against Villa. Hope it continues. Fingers crossed. And Ann/Gary gives Bowen an 8. Right, now, last of the starters, Gianluca Scamacca.
I'm going to give him an 8. I wanted to give him more, but he cut such a lonely figure up front at times. Really good goal for his perseverance, not because it was a really good goal. He had, like I say, had the shot, was unlucky. Had them one disallowed for offside. The goal for me was he gets his shot away. The goalkeeper's not ready for it. It goes under him, goes in. What I am going to say is I am fucking fuming with David Moyes. Absolutely fucking fuming with David Moyes. Scamacca needs 90 minutes, right? He needs 90 minutes under his belt. What better game to let him play 90 minutes than against a bunch of Cypriot concrete farmers, right? What better game than to give him 90 minutes in a game that's already won, that he can just coast through and maybe get another goal for himself? I fucking hate David Moyes for absolutely ruining this guy. His confidence and everything else. He came off, he had a smile on his face. There was a bit, I don't know if people saw it on BT Sport, but he's got his hood up and the guys behind him are giving him a dig or whatever it is that they're doing. And he turns around, takes his flip-flop up and starts trying to hit someone over the head with his flip-flop in the seat behind him. And it's quite funny because he's got a smile on his face. So you can see that he's still an integral part of the squad and he's still in that social aspect of the squad. But David Moyes is fucking ruining this lad. Absolutely fucking ruining this lad. I don't get why Moyes just didn't let him fucking see the game out. And for that, I can't forgive David Moyes for it, Rob. I fucking hate the guy. I'm frustrated with it. I actually turned around and said, No, I can't say what I actually said while I was there, but needless to say, people around me laughed, agreed. A couple of people thought I was harsh, but I don't get it. I don't get what Moyes' fucking issue is.
Wow. Right, let's have a little look and see what the others think in the chat. But you've got usual suspects. He's obviously giving you the thumbs up there. Gianluca Scamacca, love him, says Milesy. Good interview after the hate. The media trying to get him to slag Moyes off. We have 3 good strikers now: Ings, Scamacca, and Mubama. What, you're not including Antonio, Milesy? Deary, deary. Usual suspect really wants to see him in the first 11 and gives him an 8. Eamon says 8. Put himself about a bit, though you can see he is a bit unfit as he was sluggish at times. But why hasn't Moyes given him more game time to get his fitness up? Kent comes in, says gives him a 7. It was tough watching him have to drop so deep to hunt the ball. He needs support. He's a top technician. Dave is killing him. And he comes back and says gives him an 8. Don't worry about that, mate. No problem. Kieran Southern, still frustrating to watch. Not all his fault either. And / Gary comes in with Scamacca 8. He should have been on a lot longer, but he looked very good considering his lack of game time. Right, now, before we get on to the manager, Duke, I think it's fair to give this kid a mention.
What a finish. What a finish. Instinctive is the word I used last night. He's got pace. He loves a direct run at a player.
Energy.
I did put in the chat last night. I don't know why fucking Moyes has taken off a right winger for a fucking centre forward, but never mind. And then he goes and scores, the bastard. So, but I'm over the moon. Obviously, people that watch the channel know that my brother spent time coaching him at different age levels and stuff. So, you know, over the moon for my brother to see one of his proteges score officially in Europe this time. Really pleased for him. Like I say, a lot of energy, a lot of pace, a lot of directness about him, and wants to do well for the club. I'm going to give him a 7 because it was only a 30-minute cameo. You know, so I'd like to see what he can do in certain games from the off.
He got a bit overexcited, didn't he, after his goal picked up the yellow card?
Hey, listen, I don't blame him.
But his energy getting around the pitch, I loved seeing that, mate.
It shows passion, Rob, for the goal.
Yeah, massively.
You know, so I'm not going to take anything away from him on that.
Yeah, and it was a sort of like a proper poacher's goal, wasn't it? You know, it was literally a half chance, and he just went, "I'm having that." Bang.
Instinctive.
Yeah. Can you answer me a question? If your brother knows this kid, is it Divin or is it Divine? Because I've heard both pronunciations lately.
I've heard both pronunciations from one from my brother, one from Neil Manning, the goalkeeper, and then I'm listening to what's his name? Does the player announcements?
Oh, Martin Godliman.
Martin, calling him Divin when he comes on, and he's so. Yeah, I'm going to go with Divin.
Yeah, I mean, it looks Divin the way it's spelled because Divine has an E at the end.
An E at the end, exactly.
But, you know, I don't know. I haven't got a
We'll have to meet up with him and talk to him.
Yeah, we'll get him on the channel, yeah?
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Speak to me, brother.
Talk to me about this fella. How did you score? 2? We won 4-0.
Yeah, but he's still a wanker that had no right to take off Gianluca Scamacca. 2. That's it. That's where that's my entire base of my rating for him on last night's game is a 2 because he took off Scamacca.
Wow, that's incredibly harsh. I get you're going to mark him down, but that's a lot of marks. You're marking him down.
2.
Jeez. Wow. Okay. I'll wait till sort of like any of the guys in the live chat come in with their marking on Mr. David Moyes. There might be one or two that might agree with you. I mean, there's been a few in the live chat, in fairness, if you look, who think very, very along very similar lines to yourself. So whether anyone's going to go as far as a 2, I don't know. I mean,
Scamacca personally, is the top player and has been absolutely ruined by David Moyes.
Mm.
But where have we heard that before?
Sebastian Haller.
There you go.
Yeah,
Nikola Vlasic, I think, is a top player. He's doing well in Italy now. Ruined by David Moyes. Anderson. So do we need to go on? It's Dinosaur Dave.
Darren's asking a question. Thoughts on us actually winning this cup now? Some other so-called big hitters getting knocked out. Well, we were going to cover that, Darren, because just to sort of mark everybody.
Usual suspects. Yes.
What's that? Oh, 0.
Yes, ooh. Gary. Yes.
Yeah, that was obvious. That was obvious. Right. Okay. So in the hat for the draw later on this afternoon will be our good selves, along with
2 and a bit hours, actually.
Yeah.
The Champions League is 15 minutes away.
Ghent, Fiorentina, Lech Poznan, Basel, however it's pronounced. I've heard both pronunciations. So, AZ Alkmaar, Nice, and Anderlecht. Right, 2-part question for you, Duke. Who do you want in the quarters, and who do you want to avoid?
I'm going to go with the avoid first. Then I will go. I want to avoid Fiorentina.
Yep.
I want to avoid Alkmaar. They've just beaten one of the best teams in the tournament, in my opinion, in Lazio. So I want to avoid Alkmaar. I want to avoid Fiorentina. Other than that, Rob, maybe Anderlecht. I think they beat Villarreal, didn't they? So maybe Anderlecht at this point.
Beat them twice in the
yeah. So, who do I want?
Trip over to France, Nice.
Well, that'd be nice.
Quite nice. Nice little trip on the Eurostar. Can't be bad.
Basel on Nice would be a nice quarter. Less Poznan. I mean, they spanked them. Actually, Basel or Lech. Yeah, Poznan.
Fair enough. Right. Any final thoughts before we depart?
No.
You've covered it.
We've got a couple of weeks break now between now and our next game against Southampton. We could be bottom of the league by the end of the weekend. We could also move up a place dependent on results and goals scored. We can actually move up without even playing. As I said to everyone and anyone that will listen, just get a better result than 3 teams around us in every weekend between now and the end of the season. By the time we play Southampton as well, we'll have 2 games in hand over them. Yes, one of them's Man City, okay, but as I turned around and said to people yesterday and to the boys on the, I think it was on the full-time show that I did with Andy and Steve, if Man City, if they rearrange our game and it turns out to be maybe on a Sunday against Man City, and Man City have got Real Madrid on the Wednesday and the Tuesday either side, can you see them playing a full-strength team against us?
No, but then they're...
But can you still see them beating us? That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You know, they've still got
the
ability to beat us. Yeah. So it's one of them. As Eamon says there, we've got a game approximately every 3 days in April. So it is what it is. You've got to play these games. And if we want to be successful, we have to play games like this. We're talking about wanting to, be in Europe. Well, then that comes at a price. And so I'd love to see us win it. But as I say, we've now got, 10 days? 2 weeks,
it must be about that, isn't it?
2 and a bit weeks, actually. 17th of March, 10th.
2nd of April, which
about
is
2
a
weeks.
Sunday, isn't it? Must be because it's a 2:00 kickoff.
I think it's 2 weeks. Let's get the players back fit. Let's get some training done on the training ground. What I will say is, I think Crystal Palace have made the right decision for them at the moment by sacking Patrick Vieira.
For them?
Yeah, for them. That's what I mean. They may get a bounce back, but it's something that obviously we've not done. We should have had it. So yeah, there we are.
Right. Okay. Now
I was literally on the row behind him, 3 seats over. It was brilliant.
Really?
Yeah. He turned around and I was like, Andy, hey! And literally, like he was sat in front of Grace. Yeah.
Fair. Right. Okay. I will remember this time. Right. I'm going to end the poll, and you won't be surprised to hear that the winner of the Fulsham Iron Man of the Match award, with 40% of the vote, was Mr. Jared Bowen, who was the scorer of the brace last night. Not really a shock. So, right. Okay. Well, that's us done for today on St. Patrick's Day. As you can see, I've got my little, my mum from Dublin. So I'm paying respect to my dear old mum. So I shall be out there with my Irish genes coming to the fore and just chucking as much Guinness down my neck as I possibly can.
You got green jeans?
I have. My mum's from Dublin.
No, I meant JEANS. You got green?
Oh, I haven't.
Jeans.
No. Anyway, right. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. There's 27 of you watching right now. We've currently got 14 likes on the YouTube stream. If you could pop across to YouTube, if you're watching it on Facebook or Twitter, and just drop a like on the stream, it helps the channel out, really tremendously does. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. We'll see you again soon. And please don't forget to give your support to the Iron Supporting Food Bank charity. Come on, you Irons. We'll see you again soon. Forged from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons.